Hello everyone, we are doing a full face of some of my favorite, most reached for products of 2023. That hurts to say. So by the time you're watching this, it's 2024. That's weird. My previous video was just like a favorites video, 2023 favorites. I hadn't done one of those kind of favorites videos in a while, so I'll link that below. Today I'm kind of just using some of those products and creating the look that you would have already seen by now. This is just gonna be like a chit chat, get ready with me. So yeah, basically while I'm filming this video, I am pre-filming because I'm gonna be going away with my little family, Porter, Hamish and I, and some friends. We're gonna go away to the beach and just enjoy some time together. So you know, I'm just pre-filming some stuff to upload for you guys while I'm away. So if you want to see what I'm getting up to at the moment, check out my Instagram stories. I'm just popping on some sunscreen. It's the Pore Screen by Dermalogica because I am going to go outside and do some gardening later on today, so I want to make sure that I've got this underneath my makeup. And needless to say, my hair is like this because I need to wash it, and I just did not have the time and patience for that today. Honestly, washing my hair is like a whole thing. I have to like hype myself up to do it. I don't really wear my hair up on camera very often. Don't know why, I just like it down. That's how I like to look. This is like my go-to mum hairstyle half the time when I'm just running out of the house and I want to get my hair off my face, because that's the funny thing, I hate the feeling of my hair on my face, but for like filming videos and stuff, like I love a little wavy curly moment. Right, now that that's sinking in a little bit, let's do my base. So I'll show you both from the last video just so you can see a comparison, because like these are dupes for one another. So on this side I'll do the Imco. And oh my god, this brand is probably like one of my favorite brands of the entire year, because I kind of just started using Imco this year properly, and it's one of those brands that's just like blown me away. Like almost everything I try from Imco I've just loved. I'll blend it out with my flat face brush. Gives me a little tint. The shade I use in the Imco is 4 medium, and then 4 medium as well in the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I've honestly barely used the Flawless filter since discovering the Imco one. I love this. I feel like the last time I did a yearly favorites I mentioned the Auric one, which is like another similar one, but I feel like the Auric one's like much more glowy. Whereas like the Flawless filter type ones like this you can kind of wear by itself, like if you really wanted to, just to tint the skin and add a glow. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but I feel like they look essentially identical. Maybe the Imco one's slightly more glowy, I don't know, there's just such marginal differences compared to the cost difference. So love both of them though. If you like the original, like if you love Charlotte Tilbury and everything, definitely pick it up, it's so good. And I'd happily pay the price for it, do you know what I mean? But I don't need to pay it. I'm trying to figure out what my New Year's resolution is. I feel so weird about New Year's resolutions because I don't know, I don't feel like, no, I kind of do fail them a lot of the time. When I set New Year's resolutions, half the time I'm just like setting myself up for like, not disappointment, but like, I don't like that feeling of letting myself down. I prefer, let's call it like a goal. Not something I'm gonna force myself to stick to, but just something that I wanna like continue to work on for myself. And I think for me, my goal for this year is to continue doing what I'm doing when it comes to eating really well, eating nutritious, and keeping up with like outdoor activities like my gardening, making sure every single day I'm going outside to get that fresh air. Honestly, I feel like ever since COVID, I turned into such a hermit like indoors, and I just was not going outside and like feeling the ground beneath me. Gardening's been so good for me, for my mental health, getting outside, being in nature, getting fresh air and sunlight into my day. That sounds so dumb, but I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys are like me. I just, you know, working from home, I was kind of just indoors. So I just want to make sure I'm continuing with that because it has made the world of a difference to my mental health, and something I always struggle with is my mental health. I get really bad anxiety, I get very overwhelmed. It's something, yeah, I deal with. So just making sure I'm getting outdoors and just grounding myself is like a huge thing for me, and I want to continue to do that this year, and I really hope I can make it to the end of the year and happily say that, you know, I continued on that journey even during winter, like get out in the elements a little bit, you know, so it's not pissing down with rain because that's gross, but it's so easy to be like, oh no, it's cold outside, I don't want to go outside. No, I need the fresh air, it's good for me. I have no idea if that's gonna like resonate with anyone. I don't know, it sounds kind of like lame, but I'm getting older now and like just my priorities have changed, and that kind of goes into what I said before about like, you know, eating better, or not eating better, continuing to. Okay, so something Hamish and I both have noticed, especially this year, is just the way eating different foods makes us feel. You know, when you're younger, like when I was in my 20s, I could just eat whatever, and like, yeah, unhealthy foods, unhealthy, but like I didn't really feel adverse reactions to it. I was just like, meh, I feel like junk food, I'm gonna eat junk food. Whereas these days, if I eat junk food, I actually can feel the difference in my body, in my mood. Like literally, hear me out, I feel like a different person when I'm just eating nutritiously. Hello, you may look at me and think I'm not the picture of health. I still have bad food sometimes, but I eat nutritiously. Every single day I make sure to fill my day with nutrition. You know what, like slowly my body is starting to kind of respond to it. Having a baby really hammered me in more ways than one. It changed my body, it changed my hormones, like it changed a lot. Obviously having a child makes me more tired. Do you know what, when I'm eating nutritiously, drinking my juices, we make homemade like green juice, beetroot juice, stuff like that, I have these things and I actually get up in the morning and I can get up and I feel better, I feel less anxious, I feel more energized. Like I still wake up sleepy, but after like a little bit I'm awake. Whereas before I'd be like, I need multiple coffees, like I just feel like shit for hours in the morning, and then at night I'd feel better. Dosing up on vitamins just makes my mornings much more bearable. It makes me a better mum, makes me a better person for myself, for people around me, and it sounds so silly, it sounds like duh, but it's just something I never like prioritize. Like for me, I was like, either I'm trying to eat like a certain diet to look a certain way, or like, you know, whatever. Whereas now it's like, no, I just make sure I'm having like a really balanced diet with lots of nutrients. That's my thing, nutrients, vitamins, nutrients, stuff that's gonna increase my energy and make me feel better. And I think one thing that made me realize this is obviously putting Porter in daycare this year, and like the amount of illnesses you get from daycare. It made me really realize how important your health really is. Don't get me wrong, every now and then we'll have friends over, we'll still get a pasta or a pizza, but I'm just making sure every single day I'm having whole like fruits and vegetables and juicing and just doing all of these things. I'm not saying any of you guys have to do this, this is just my own goal, like, you know. So like I say, it's something I have been already doing, and it's just something I want to continue. I find it hardest over winter. Winter's when I feel like comfort food, when I feel like pasta and stuff like that, which I'm not on any type of diet, so I'll still eat it if I want it. That's the thing, like if I really want it, I'll have it. But I'm just gonna try and stick to the whole like having vegetables and stuff more often. Growing my own produce helps too, because I want to use it and I get excited about growing it. It's really rewarding, and I know like that it's nutritious stuff, do you know what I mean? Like I'm giving it all the nutrients and love in the ground, and it grows, and I don't know, I just love it. I literally sound like, who am I? Like, who is this person right now? But for real, like that's just like the vibe at the moment. I want to make sure that I'm like as healthy as I can be for my child. I want to be around for a long time. I don't want to be struggling, you know. I need to still get back into my fitness more. That's kind of taken a back seat. I've been eating really good, being really healthy in those aspects, but I do need to like get more walks in and, you know, stuff like that, which we've been doing because of the nicer weather. But you know, I do need to implement more of my workout routine again, because I haven't been doing that every single day. I would like to start getting that in every day again, so maybe that can be like a little resolution to try and get back into those old habits, because I used to be really good with working out, but my eating like sometimes was amazing, sometimes was shit, you know, it was all over the show. We'd go out to eat all the time. I think that was the thing too, like before I was a parent, Hamish and I would go out to restaurants like 4 or 5 nights a week just because we could. Takeaways, restaurants, all of that. Whereas now it's like we can't do that with a child, and we also just don't want to. And we find ourselves when we do go out, like if he's at daycare and we want to go out for like a little lunch date, we usually get like pretty healthy food anyway. And if it's not like the epitome of health, like we're getting sushi and fresh stuff like that, we're getting stuff that's like at least real food. We're not just getting McDonald's or something. I don't know, I've never really been a huge McDonald's person. That's just an example. I'm using the shade P1. So yeah, making sure I'm getting that movement in. I already feel like my joints and stuff feel so much better after pregnancy. Holy, I felt so like stiff all the time. Like I felt like I always had to be stretching, and like my mobility just felt real shit, but it's been feeling so much better already lately. I think it's one of those things with time as well after having a baby. Like some people snap back so quick, and I am not one of those people at all. It's been a whole journey. I don't know, I'm really proud of myself for how far I've come though as a person this year. Like I feel like, I don't know, I've just put so much work into myself, found some things that have really like made me flourish as a person, focused a lot on things that help me as a person mentally, make me feel fulfilled, that aren't just work, because work was like my identity before having a child, whereas now like I still love to work, but I don't want to just be, you know, known for my work. Like I want to have other hobbies and like do other things that really bring me joy, that aren't, you know, just linked like my income or like popularity or like anything like that. Like I'm so over, I've talked about this in another video, I'm not all about the like popularity contest on social media. I don't care about that. I'm past that, been there, done that, done the hustle, and now it's about like self-growth, maintaining the community I have, reaching obviously new people that resonate with me as a person, but I don't really care about, I don't know, my goal is not to like resonate with like the younger crowd that are now on social media or anything. Like it's just not for me. Like I'm me, and the people that want to kind of see the content I create, like they can watch it. You know, I'm not about like trying to do the latest trend all the time, unless once again it interests me. You know, if it's something that I think is cool, then that's fine. I'm just not forcing it, you know? Oh, my base looks so pretty. So what are your New Year's resolutions? I would love to know. Just gonna set my face just a little bit. I still want to be glowy. Love to know as well, like what's something you guys are proud of? Like what's something you've done in this past year that you're really proud of yourself for? I honestly do just feel like I'm kind of getting the hang of life again since, you know, COVID, 2020. That was when it kind of was here where I live, and I've finally stopped to reflect on like the year before as well, like when Porter was little, my postpartum journey, and I've kind of like thought about it a bit more. I think I was in a bit of a survival mode for a long time, and I had so much stuff happening in that first like 6 months of Port's life that kind of traumatized me, and I'm just kind of coming back from that now. Like I've talked about little bits and pieces here and there on my channel, but I haven't really like, I don't know, talked a whole lot about a lot of it. Postpartum was like a shock to me, to say the least, because, you know, I went from having literally all the freedom in the world, working for myself, traveling a lot. I could wake up whenever I wanted, I could go to sleep whenever I wanted. I decided every day what I wanted to do, and having a baby was a reality check, obviously. I know that's like no shit, but you know, you can like understand that that's gonna happen, but the reality is still very different when it is happening. So just trying to wrap my head around that was like a big journey, is it like in itself. Using this pink pressed powder to brighten, but you know, we can get past that, right? Like you adjust, you get used to running on a schedule again, because babies need schedules. I don't know why I got my period back so soon postpartum, and it messed with, I think, my milk production here and there. Like it was just going up and down, up and down. I actually, looking back, had really good milk production, but I was stressed. I look back at some pictures of Porter and he's so chunky, but I was so scared I was starving him. I think that's something that a lot of new mums struggle with mentally when they're breastfeeding, is like, am I giving my baby enough milk? Even though they may look well fed, even though they're gaining weight, like it's still like a mental thing where like you just worry. Everyone worries about their children, right? Like you just worry. But then when my granddad unfortunately passed away, I don't know how much I've said about this. He hadn't even met Porter. We were literally 5 minutes too late to the hospital for him to meet Porter, because they had to rush him in for surgery. Basically my granddad was sick my whole life, so he had to have these like routine surgeries, and essentially what happened was he was in for one and a mistake was made, and this has all been, yeah, they like went through ACC with it all, and it was all proven to be a mistake. Mistakes happen, and my whole family like understands that, but it's just what happened. A mistake happened and they mixed something, and Granddad got very, very sick and just declined rapidly. So far out, man. I didn't really give myself much time to grieve when it was all happening because I was just trying to survive postpartum. Oh, it's so messed up. I just remember sitting there in ICU. I don't know, he was in the hospital for a little bit. We went and saw him a couple times, but eventually he ended up passing away. And around all of this time, I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was like the stress. Maybe I was like something was happening where I was real stressed and Porter just was not taking my boob. So I was just so worried about that. I remember being at Granddad's funeral and Porter was either asleep or he woke up screaming, starving, but he would not take the boob. And it happened for like a week and I was so stressed out. And it was just one of those like situations where I was just like in survival mode. I need to not cry. So my granddad passed away and I felt so horrible that he didn't even get to meet Porter, but he's also like, we sent obviously photos and videos all the time, and it was just to do with like whooping cough and like all of these things and like settling into newborn life. Like we hadn't gone around to like actually doing the visit, and then obviously it's a huge regret of mine that you don't expect to suddenly lose anyone, and yet it does happen all the time. And that's why people say like tell people you love them and spend time with them, because they could just like trying to stop the tears and they just will not stop. So anyways, needless to say, it was a very difficult time. Newborn life, my granddad passing away, dealing with guilt, dealing with putting guilt on myself because I was like, why is he not feeding? Anyways, he started feeding again. My period came back. Don't know if it was like stress induced or what. All of these things are a blur to me, by the way. Like all of this stuff kind of happened all over the show in like a clump of time. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was all just really, really shit. And then we also had a really big health scare with Port. Turns out he's okay. Long story short, he had a big growth on his shoulder. I asked the doctors about it. They said, don't worry about it. Then I was like, no, I'm sure it's growing. So I go back. They say, okay, that's strange. Go get a scan. We go get a scan. The lady was really weird about it. And then we got a call from the doctor like the next day saying, you need to come in. They literally said we need to send him like ASAP up to, I thought it was Wellington they were talking about, but they were talking about Auckland Starship because they thought he had cancer. So my whole world came crashing. Honestly, fuck me up. Like I'm not even like, I'm crying because it was just like traumatizing. Obviously, no, he's fine. Porter's fine. Turns out that the doctors kind of made an F up and he has like a birthmark, and had they have actually had a look at him, I asked them to undress him and have a look at his whole body, and they said no, like if you don't think anything else looks strange, don't worry about it. But if they just undressed him and looked at his whole body, they would have seen his birthmark, right? And what the lump was essentially a big under the skin lump of like a birthmark. I forget what it's called, but if you know, you know. And so basically, if they had done that, the doctors would have realized, my makeup's peeling now, that yeah, it was just a birthmark and it will just go away on its own. And so they cancelled all that. Before they cancelled all that, we had to go into the pediatricians at the hospital. So I think it all happened on like a Friday, and it wasn't until Monday we went back in. And so basically the whole weekend, me and Hamish were just crying the whole weekend. It sounds probably dramatic. I don't know if it sounds dramatic, but to Hamish and I, it was traumatizing, and I still freak out and cry when I think about it. Like, oh my god, it was a terrible, terrible time. I mean, he's still got a little bit, but it has gone down a bit, I think, and we just keep an eye on it. We go back to the pediatricians at the hospital, get checked up. They check them over, make sure that they're still happy, that they don't think it's cancerous. It was very eye-opening, and it makes my heart hurt that people's babies go through that. I'm so thankful that he does not, you know, he's not going through that, but it F's me up that people's children go through this stuff. Or anyone, but a little baby. This is not how I expected this video to go, team. I didn't expect to cry, but I'm just trying to talk about, I just want to talk about some stuff I haven't really talked about though. So yeah, basically I feel like this year was my healing year. Well, last year, now that you're watching this in 2024. Oh, I've just made it look so much worse, haven't I? Frick. Getting through all of that, like I need to be proud of myself, because you know, even if someone else thinks it all sounds dramatic and not that bad, like I took a back seat, mentally I took a back seat, everything took a back seat, eating, exercising, everything. But this year, I don't know, well, last year, now that you're watching this, I just feel like last year was my healing era. Like I felt like I was just so much better mentally, accepting what's done. I'm still very traumatized from having like Porter, but that sounds like, no, he's like my life, my world, the light of my life. But I just don't know if I could ever have another child. The whole experience was a lot for me. And I feel like, yeah, I've told you little bits and pieces of this in past videos and stuff like that, but not in so much depth. And I didn't know like what I was going to tell and how much and all of those things. Oh, stupid tears. And so for this year, I just want to continue doing what I'm doing and just be easy on myself, give myself grace. And one thing I would like to do is try to see friends more, especially now that Porter's a little bit older and manageable and, you know, he's not napping all the time. I feel like it's a really lonely time becoming a mum when like your baby needs you all the time. Duh. I mean, he still needs me, but you know, like now I can like go to parks and he can play, and catch up with friends for coffee and he can play, and you know, he's not needing me to like rush him home to get in bed and stuff like that. I mean, some people, you know, their babies sleep out and about, not mine. So now that he's on 1 nap a day, it's just so much easier and more manageable. I'm using this, by the way. And with my best friends having babies too, like, you know, we've all been in the same boat, but it'll be nice to like, I think, start hanging out with them some more. We still talk every day, all the time, but it'll be nice just to hang out some more now that we're kind of through the grind of like the newborn stage. Honestly, you guys, like, I don't know if it's because of like all of the stuff that happened when Porter was little, or if it's just that I get along better with toddlers. I love the toddler stage. Like, it's difficult. He has tantrums, but I can deal with that. I love being able to teach him stuff. I love being able to show him new things. I love seeing his little face get so excited. I'm using the shade Penny and Daisy right now. I thrive. I love it. This age group is so much better. I love how he potters away. I love how he plays by himself. But then I love when he picks up a book and he brings it to me and he gets on my lap and he turns around and he sits down on my lap and we read a book together. It is so wholesome. He was the cutest newborn, like, and he was actually such a good newborn as well. Like, he did everything he was supposed to do. He slept like an angel. I mean, he still woke up all the time throughout the night. He was like a normal baby, developmentally normal. But you know, like, he didn't just cry all the time except for friggin' around that time period I just talked about. That was its own situation. All I'm trying to say is, like, he was such a good baby, such a lovely, happy baby, beautiful, like, smiley, giggly. He was everything I ever wanted him to be. But I just thrive on this age so much more. The older he gets, I just enjoy it. I guess I'm just enjoying every stage as it comes. Next up, I think I need to do some brows. And the reason, if you're wondering, in my previous video there was no brow stuff, it's because I've just been using lots of different brow stuff this year. Nothing's really stood out necessarily. Like, I just use whatever. I'll use something that I have really liked, but I'm not comfortable to say that it's like, oh my god, life-changing this year. It's just something that I've been reaching for a lot. The Rare Beauty Light Brown Shape and Fill Duo. I have liked this, so I'm gonna use this today. I think if I had some like advice to like someone that's pregnant right now, like a new mum, first time mum, or actually just anyone, any mum, no matter what baby, or any person, baby or not, my advice is just to give yourself grace. I need to hear this more often myself. Like, I look back and I'm like, why was I so hard on myself? Honestly, I just feel like if there's one thing a lot of us need to do in this life at the moment, life is hectic for everybody. Economically, there's so much pressure at the moment. After the pandemic, life in general, like in the internet age, like social media, all of that, like, just give yourself some grace. Everyone online loves to make out that their life is so much better than it really is, and you need to understand that so much of social media is so fake. And I know we all get told this all the time, but it's so true. People can manipulate anything online to like look a certain way, come across a certain way. If you're a business owner, you'll see these other businesses, they look like they're killing it. They look like, you know, you'll be like, what are they doing right and I'm doing wrong? Honestly, the amount of them that fake, they fake how many orders it looks like they're getting. They fake how many sales it looks like they're getting. You cannot compare yourself. I don't like how the world has become a grind. Even social media, for example, people want to be a social media content creator. People want to continue to get these huge views. Look, do you know why I don't get huge views everywhere? Is half the reasons because I just refuse to like do what they want. When it comes to the algorithm, you know, Instagram, they're like, oh, we want you to be posting 3 times a day. We want you to post in the morning. We want you to post at lunchtime. We want you to post in the afternoon. We want you to post this type of format, a reel, a story, an Instagram picture, carousel. We want you to do this, that, and everything else. I just post what I want and you get penalized for it. Something that I've learned over the years, you know, doing this for a long time, is that balance is so important. And that goes for not just people that are like working online or self-employed, like just, you know, as much as we can, it's just important to try and get that balance of like looking after yourself, having a hobby, you know, feeding yourself mentally, making sure you're fulfilled mentally, and not just letting a job become your entire identity, not letting online become your entire identity as well, no matter who you are, making sure you're not spending all of the time on social media and things, which is ironic. I should be sitting here saying to you guys, watch every one of my videos, tune in, watch me for hours, you know, help me get my engagement rates up or whatever. I appreciate anyone that does those things and helps me, but at the end of the day, like I think it's so important for everyone just to like look after themselves and have balance. Some people, I understand, don't have any choice other than to obey the hustle culture. Like I said, like economically the world is just, it seems to be so screwed. So I understand not everyone's privileged to have all of that kind of balance, but just if you can, just keep it in mind, I guess is all I'm hoping to say. Look after yourself and don't become a slave to social media and the internet, and just remember that, you know, almost everyone has an agenda. Just be mindful of the kind of content you are consuming as a person. I feel like I've unfollowed so many people lately, not even people, like celebrities. Like I don't know about you guys, but just lately, like in life, I'm just like, I don't really care about many celebrities that I feel like I used to care about. It's these days, I've got other things that I would rather focus on. And I like to learn, like I follow lots of gardening pages because I'm trying to learn things, you know, I'm trying to learn about growing my own food and things. And it's not like a be all end all. I'm not trying to be like self-sufficient and stuff. It's just something I'm passionate about and I'm learning a lot about. And I think it's important as you get older to find stuff that you enjoy learning about. Like, don't stop learning. I used to not give a shit about that kind of thing in my 20s, about learning new things. Like, I didn't really care at all. But now I'm 31 and I just have this like yearning to better myself. And I guess it's one of those things that sometimes happens to us when we become like a mum or something like that. Like you realize that like you need to look after yourself mentally, physically. You know, you want to be the best person you can be so you can be a good mum and like have that energy, have that happiness, and, you know, raise the best, kindest, happiest little humans that you possibly can. I feel like the more like at peace you are with yourself too, like the less you care about noise. I've said it many times, but like especially recently I feel like people are really trying to bring me down, like, I don't know, haters and stuff, and it's just one of those things. Like, I've been doing this for how many years now? Oh my god, I've got such bad dandruff. It's one of those things, yeah, I've been doing this for what, like 12, is that more than 12 years now? I feel like it's been such a long time. Okay, it's definitely well over 10 years. Plus I was bullied growing up, primary school, high school, like try harder. And like I say, I would rather someone, you know, send me hate mail than someone, you know, hopefully, you know, they're just sending it to me and they're not treating people in their lives like crap. And that's just something that comes with age. It's something that comes when you feel good about yourself. Even if someone comments on something that happens to be an insecurity of mine, like I still, for some reason, I'm like, I don't care. Like, if you're not my mum and you're not my best friend, you're not my husband, you can't really hurt my feelings. I just don't allow people to hurt my feelings. It just doesn't work. Half the time I just find it funny that people are trying so hard. But hopefully, you know, like people ask me how to navigate that kind of thing. Just focus on yourself and realize that people that are being mean You know, people, all of us, well, not all of us, but most of us experience this type of thing. Maybe not on YouTube, because you may not be a YouTuber, but just in life, you experience people making snide remarks, you experience petty people. You just have to not let it affect you. Like, you know who you are, you know your truth, and realize that it's not really a normal thing for people to say these types of things. Like, it's a weird thing for people to like bully. It's a weird thing for people to say mean things. It's a weird thing to do, and just remember that that's like a they issue. It's a their problem. It's not your problem. It's they're projecting. I am going to use a mishmash of colors on my eyes today. I feel like doing a little bit of green, a little bit neutral. Eyeshadows have not been on the cards in the past year for me, really. Obviously in YouTube videos I do the odd eyeshadow tutorials and like first impressions, trying out things, but in my everyday life, like, eyeshadow is just not really a thing. A lot of the time it just ends up being a bit of bronzer over the eyes and things like that, you know, just like the bare basics, because I've just not had the energy for eyeshadow this year. It's been like the clean girl aesthetic, you know, and I have liked that clean girl aesthetic for that reason. Like, it's quite easy makeup, which has been good for me since being a mother. But it's not talking about how my foundation doesn't match perfectly, by the way, because my fake tan's so faded. I tried to do like a high neckline to hide it, but you can still kind of tell. It's our secret. So yeah, I've really enjoyed like the clean girl makeup trend just for like the stage I am at my life. Like, God forbid I had a baby when it was like the peak of like Instagram baddie makeup days. Like, I would not have had the energy and time to do that, okay? I'm gonna go in with terracotta now. Something warm. I feel like when I have worn eyeshadow too, I often am just doing like that terracotta kind of vibe. I'd love to know what kind of eye looks you guys have been doing this year or past year. Did you really do much eyeshadow, or were you like me, not really into it? I'd love to know. I'm still just like reflecting on what I've friggin' said in this video, and I don't know, I kind of feel good about letting it off my chest. I feel like I can finally kind of grieve it and move on. I definitely grieve, like, I don't know, I wish I could time travel and tell myself when I was going through postpartum that I was doing a good job. People told me that I was doing a good job, but you don't believe people when they say that, right? But in hindsight, like, I was going through so much and I was doing my best, and I still put him first every day. And you know, I was only so worried because I cared about him so much, and I wish I could go back and be like, don't worry about it, like, he's literally fine, like, he's not gonna starve, he's fine, don't worry. But you know, at the time I was so worried. Let's do some sand. I'm just gonna use my finger because I can't be bothered looking for a brush. Oh, that's so pretty. Hopefully, you know, when I share these things, you can kind of apply what I'm saying to your own life or your own experiences, and I hope, you know, it makes some of you feel better, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just hope that it resonates. One thing I hate as I'm getting older is like, I don't know, I just feel like so many people are so divided, and so, like, I just feel like there's so much hate everywhere. Not in terms of hater comments, I just mean in general. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, is it the media or what? Like, I don't know, I just don't like where the world is. Like, I just felt like a couple years ago I had to stop using stuff like Twitter, because I just felt like it just gave me anxiety. It made me feel, why is this not even working on my waterline right now? I don't know, I just felt like it ended up getting real toxic, and I don't know. There's just so many important things happening in the world. I just feel like the world's stuffed half the time, and I think that's why I've just really been enjoying like cutting back on my internet consumption. I know that sounds so ignorant because there's so many important things happening around the world, but from a place of like also just survival mentally, I just feel like sometimes I have to just get outside. I guess it's one of those things that's like a balance, right? Like, it's important to educate yourself on like the world's happenings and things, but it's also important to take care of yourself. I'm using Stem, the green, just making sure that you are, yeah, looking after yourself, because the world is a heavy place. I feel like every time you feel like, I don't know, the world's happenings are getting better, something else happens. There's just so much suffering around the world, and it's easy to think, you know, just that the world sucks. But it's also important to like I say, just look after yourself too. Kakapo, we're gonna do, it's like a duochrome, right? And I'm gonna do a little bit as well on top just to tie in the green. Sorry, the dogs are barking. Someone's at the door. I've lost my train of thought. I don't know how I feel about when I get like real deep in videos. Hopefully this isn't like, I don't know, a really awful video to watch, because it's I don't know. Lots of people, this is the thing, come to my channel to forget about the real world. Like, I know that for a fact because people tell me. I don't know, I like to keep things really light and cheerful a lot of the time, and I think that's why like I didn't open up completely as well, and just out of you know, privacy reasons and things, but I feel like I'm past it enough now where I feel comfortable talking about like some of my life. There's so much, it's so funny, like there is so much that you guys don't know about me and don't know about like my childhood. I don't know if I'll ever share it. It's just one of those things, like I share as much as I can with you guys that I feel comfortable with at that time. Do you know what I mean? So we're just, yeah, that is what it is. I'm really devastated because like I said, I'm into the gardening, and while I'm gone is probably going to be like peak harvest time for like my strawberries, some of my tomatoes and things. So luckily we've got a house sitter and they can enjoy my harvest, but I'm really sad because obviously I want to be like harvesting and like eating the food I've like worked so hard to grow, but there'll be more when I get back home. But I'm just like, damn it, like of course when I go away it's like peak time. We've had a very slow summer though, so I'm hoping that the summer lasts a little bit longer so I get a bit more, you know, growing time. We'll soon find out, but while I'm filming this I'm still at home clearly, and I'm just so excited to go to the beach and just, I don't know, I always feel better at the beach. Apparently it's literally a scientific thing, something to do with the ions in the air near the ocean. Something to do with it makes you feel mentally so much better. I feel like one day I could retire at our house up by the beach because it makes me feel so good. Does anyone else feel that way when they go to the beach? I just love walking across the beach in my bare feet, put my feet in the ocean. It makes me feel brand new, and I'm so excited for Porter to like have that experience growing up, going to the beach over the summer. I didn't go to the beach all the time as a little girl, but I do remember my mum taking me sometimes to the beach, and it's like such a core memory for me, and I'm just so excited to do that with Port. Last time we went, he's only been to the beach once because the first couple of times he was real small and it was like cold and windy and crap, so I was like, I'm not going to take a little baby to the beach when it's like windy and yucky. But last time we went, which was for Labor Day, he went to the beach for the first time and he loved it, but he got nervous near the ocean. He was just in my arms, and then after that he didn't want to get out of my arms, and I low-key loved it because he's not very clingy like that normally. So I embraced it and I sat there and had cuddles for ages, and he just clung on to me like a little koala bear. It was so cute. So it's going to be interesting to see what he thinks now because, you know, he's a few months older and he's walking way more and like he's much more adventurous, so I'm excited to see how he goes. Doing a little ombre eyeliner. I'm using Dust and Botanic. Another thing I've just recently started doing which has helped my mental health so much is like listening to more music. Obviously I listen to music. I'm a huge music person, okay? If you've followed me for a long time you know that. But during like the first year of Porter's life, I would say like I didn't really listen to my own music because I was always worried about him, so I was always like, I don't know, playing stuff I thought he would like, and I don't know, I've been really listening to my own music again, even if like I'm hanging out with Port, you know? I don't know, it's made me feel like me again. Sounds so silly, but question for those of you who are like in the States and stuff like that, do you guys have the Wiggles? Or is that like a New Zealand, Australia mainly thing? Porter's finally getting into the Wiggles. This is not my best eyeliner job. I'm literally that mum though, that will like get up and dance with Port. I like dance in front of him and try to like get him to dance with me. Singing Hot Potato, and what's that one that's like, oh, rock-a-bye bear, bear's now asleep, shh, shh, shh. You know that song? That's an absolute banger. And do you know what like the best part about being a mum is like watching them develop as a human being. You know, they start out as this baby, like a little tiny pile of just chub, cute little chubby chub, and they transform into a little kid in front of your eyes. It is the weirdest thing. They've got little personalities, they've got favorite colors, they have favorite foods. The bane of my existence, might I add. Literally made him a lasagna last night and he wouldn't even try. He puts his elbow out and he goes, acting like I just served him dog poo on a plate, but that's fine. I keep telling myself, you know what? I was no different. I survived on friggin' sausages and bread until I was like 10 years old, so whatever. It just be how it be. Social media once again, eh? You see these TikToks of like, what my 1.5-year-old eats in a day, and they're eating spinach, silver beet. Actually, Porter can eat silver beet if I hide it in his noodles. All of these like amazing meals that they cook. Eggplant pastas and zucchini noodles and all of these things, and you feel like a failure because your kid just wants toast sandwiches, yogurt, the occasional piece of fruit. Porter finally likes banana. Took him this whole time to finally try banana. He likes banana, strawberries, and orange. He won't try mandarin though. Apparently he knows the difference. But yeah, I'm just like, you know what, it's okay. Because even I fall into that trap, guys. Like I said, social media, it's the devil of comparison and half of it's all fake. But yeah, I still fall into the trap. And I compare myself as a mum sometimes because I feel like I'm a shit mum compared to other people. But then I'm like, actually no, I'm an amazing mum. My baby is thriving, technically toddler now, he's no longer a baby. Just sometimes you've got to pat yourself on the back and tell yourself you're doing a good job. So I hope you guys do that today for yourself. You don't have to be a mum either, duh. Any of you out there, tell yourself you're doing a good job, please. Somehow I've like lost all of my lash glue, so I'm using this like ancient one which like is barely sticky. It's like drying out. For someone who has her own lash brand and her own lash glue, you'd think that I would have some, but no, we're just using scraps today. I'm literally wiping some glue on this case and then I'll just wipe the lash in and pop it on. I'm using my fingers because I can't find a single pair of clean lash tweezers to apply these with. Do you guys have any little hobbies that you love to do? I'd love to know, because at the moment like my main hobby is when I'm not with Paul, like, you know, after he goes to bed, it's doing the gardens. I love gaming. Me and my friends game together like pretty much every night. Board games when I've got family over, friends over. Me and Hamish don't really play them just 2-player, but we always play board games when we're like with friends in a group. Huge fans of a board game. Now more than ever I understand how important it is to have hobbies like that aren't just scrolling TikTok. I do that. I do that every night before bed. It's so bad. But you know, I'm trying to reduce the amount that I'm just consuming. We consume so much and sometimes it's really good stuff and then sometimes it's not good stuff, you know? Sometimes it's stuff that makes you not feel good. Sometimes it's stuff that makes you feel like you aren't good enough because you're watching these other people and living their, you know, lives that may or may not be real. Like people say, it's a highlight reel, you know? A lot of it's a highlight reel. I love when I find, you know, people on TikTok and Instagram and stuff that just show everything, not just the wins, you know? I love this eye makeup. I feel like I've done a similar eye makeup to this in the past, but I don't even care. I vibe it. I'll use some of my favorites. We're gonna use Raw. I need to sharpen this. Do you know what? Another lesson I've learned this year is, I don't know if it's like a lesson, but I don't even know what the right word for this is. Not necessarily empathy. I've just understood, I guess, understood things from my childhood, or like understood like people I don't have the best relationship in my family. Like I understand more. I think being a parent, being like getting older, not excusing people for certain behaviors, but just understanding more. As you get older, the different challenges you face and understanding why your parents did certain things or like said certain things or acted a certain way, your grandparents, you know, taking them off of a pedestal that maybe you put them on as a child and like understanding them for just being a human and feeling better about that. Does that make sense? Growing up is so weird. Like you feel like in your 20s you're so growing, and I know I'm like only just out of my 20s really, but like I just feel like in the last couple years since being a mum, like I've just learned so much about just myself, the world, my family. It just changes you a lot, you know, being a mum. Your priorities change. Life as you know it changes. Something I didn't even mention, like had some rogue friendships change a lot. Nothing bad even happens. And that's the thing when you're older. Sometimes friendships just change. And it's not even like anyone was mean to anyone else or, you know, anything like that. They just change. I don't know if it's like becoming a mum. I think it's just getting older. When you get older, your friends are getting older and your priorities change, your interests change. You know, sometimes you have friends that you think you're gonna be friends with forever. Don't cry. And once again, things just change on you. That's something else I've had to accept in this past year. Another lesson learned, and it makes you hold those that are still around like that much closer. I love this lip color. I'll list everything in the down bar for you. All right, final step. Do I want some highlighter on? Let's use the kind of more gold side. Loving the blushy looks at the moment. Setting, but this is sunscreen. Ugh, just don't inhale it. This gives me like a glow from the sunscreen as well. I feel like the lighting's so crap. What's new? I'm trying to fix the lighting so you can kind of see the makeup better. I like this makeup though. I feel very pretty. What a random video we've done today. I don't know. I hope you've learned something new about me, or hopefully I've taught you a lesson or given you some wisdom. I don't know. Let me know if you've got any wisdom for me, if you've got any nice quotes for me to read. It's just nice to connect with people. And like I said, being a mum can get lonely. This job in itself is often lonely. I'm so lucky I've got such a good support network of like close friends, Hamish, you know, I've got people around me every day that I love. I think that's why I love gaming and stuff like that too, because I chat to my friends on like comms at night and we like talk shit, you know, communicate. It's like talking on the phone with friends, you know, for hours every night. Like I need that because otherwise it's just me and my thoughts. So yeah, I love chatting to you guys as well. And like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I just hope I can inspire you guys to kind of think outside the box, find your own truth, be proud of yourself, believe in yourself, give yourself some grace. I'm sure you're doing an amazing job. And yeah, if you're going through a hard patch, I'm sending you so much love, and I hope this year is better. Hopefully we can all continue to heal, and I cannot wait for more videos and chats and stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for sticking alongside me, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye bye.